just got back from the lumber yard. I've got some 8-quarter mahogany that I'm going to use to make an easel for my mother-in-law. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mark this up so I kind of know where each, my legs are going to be and my cross supports and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to mark it up, and then I will get it jointed on 2 sides. And I'm probably going to go ahead and run it through the planer too, and then I'll cut some strips out on the table saw. I'll use my circular saw for a little bit as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so I just got these pieces off the table saw. They've been sitting here for a day, and as you can see, when I put them together, they're not completely straight. Some of them have warped just a little bit. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to run them back through the jointer, and I'll run it through the thickness planer, and then these will actually be at their final dimension.
So I'm just getting my miter sled set up here so that I can cut a little bit of an angle on the bottom of the front support legs. This will help make sure that they make flat contact with the floor. Next, I will use my tapering jig to cut a little bit of an angle on the top part of these front support legs, and this just makes them splay out. Although this makes drilling a hole a little bit tricky. So what you'll see is I'll do is use my doweling jig to drill a straight hole through the center piece here, and then I will line up the hole on the outer pieces, and then I'll use my doweling jig again to just make sure that I drill a straight hole, so that way the bolt goes through all these pieces without binding up.
Alright, so I've already got my small router set up to cut out the slots for these bolts. What I'm going to do is, instead of using the router table, I'm just going to get set up here to attach this to my workbench so I can use the small router here. And to do that, I'm just attaching this tape on here. those on there. Alright, so I just got this off the table saw here. What I did was I put a slight angle on that right there, so that way whenever this piece comes up against the painting, it will kind of wedge it back in and help hold in place. So all I'm going to do is glue this onto this shelf right here. So I've got these support pieces. This is where the brackets and shelf pieces that I just showed you are going to mount to. And all I need to do is cut the slots so it controls how far up and down they can slide. So all I'm going to do is go ahead and mark out those places, and this will be where I stop the cut and I cut up the top. And the same thing for the bottom. Start, stop. I do enjoy a good coffee break. I'm inspired again, so let's do it. So after rounding over all the edges with an 1/8 inch round over bit, I went ahead and sanded everything down, and then after getting everything sanded down, I sprayed it with about 5 coats of lacquer. Lacquer should give it a pretty strong, durable finish, and it can also be easily refinished if it should ever need it.